No, not yet. The meeting is not on yet, so we're all still muted. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
We welcome everybody to this continuing medical education by the Ophthalmological Society of Nigeria, Abuja branch. We are resuming this continuing medical education after a break. And we thank God that we are reconvened here today. It's a unified program to all of us in Abuja. And then I can see that we have some of our senior colleagues and colleagues all over the country already joining the program. So we welcome everybody. I would like us to have some remarks from the chairman of Ophthalmological Society of Nigeria, and then some of our senior colleagues who are already online. Dr. Musa Balat. Are you around? Okay, maybe he's yet to join. Can we have our former chairman, Dr. Yonoye Musikunla, to give us remarks? And then probably the Professor Regina Morgan will also be on standby. Dr. Yonoye. Okay, Dr. Musa Balat, I think he's around now. Maybe after Dr. Musa Balat has given his remark, we'll have Dr. Yonoye. Dr. Musa Balat, you have the floor.
Okay. Good morning, all. It's really a great day to us in OSN Abuja chapter to have this wonderful reenactment of our CME, the first CME for 2025. And I believe it's going to be a great session. We are going to be looking at empowering ophthalmologists, the pathway to versatility, resilience, and leadership. And our resource person, I don't think there is somebody that can give us greater than what she's going to do. And I the this lecture, even at this point in our history where we need to make impact as ophthalmologists. So I want to welcome all of us to this session, and let us make the best of it. And I believe we'll all benefit from it. I want to thank the chairman of the CME committee and all the members of his team for this wonderful meeting that they have set up. And I believe all of us will benefit. Thank you, and God bless.
So thank you so much, Chairman, OSN Abuja branch. So we would like Dr. Mosekola Yoloye to also give our remarks. He was our former chairman and very senior ophthalmologist. You have the floor, ma. Please, eye focus. Can you help us unmute her?
All right, sir.
Dr. Yoloye. Okay. Maybe the Professor Morgan, you can give your remark. As soon as Dr. Yoloye is ready, we will take her.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Okay, ma. We are hearing you, ma.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. I am happy to be here. And like the chairman said, we really want to thank this team, the CME committee, for bringing this now. We're happy that we are getting back on track. It's been a long holiday we had. At a point, it appeared nothing was happening with the OSN Abuja branch or chapter. But we thank God that we have woken up. Thank you so much for putting this together. And I too believe that we'll all benefit greatly from what we're about to listen to. So I urge us to listen with rapt attention and to make use of every opportunity that we have to learn, and then to use the knowledge that we shall acquire today. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, ma. Thank you for coordinating OSN Abuja to have that successful faculty lecture by His Excellency Dr. Agbadu Akabe. Dr. Yoloye is available now. You have floor, ma. You can give your remark, ma. Dr. Yoloye. Dr. Bito, be on standby to
Yes,
give
sir.
me. Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning, ma. So maybe later we'll have Dr. Yoloye to give us our remarks. So you can give the citation of our resource person, the current Chief Executive Officer of our regulatory body. I know she's already doing fine job there in prescribing, maintaining, and review of medical education as well as practice in Nigeria. So Dr. Bito is currently the secretary of the Continuing Medical Education Committee. And then I have to thank her for all the good work she has done. She has been working behind the scene to ensure that we have this program. And then I also appreciate the support of our elders, because they actually say that this CME must continue. And the consequences of that decision is what we are having today. And we thank them. So Dr. Bito.
Hello.
Okay, okay,
All
ma.
right.
Okay, ma. You have the floor, ma. Dr. Bito, just be on standby.
Just a minute, please. I was on, but you couldn't hear me, and I was trying to unmute myself. Okay. Oh,
Okay,
good morning, dear colleagues. It's actually exciting to see this meeting come back after a couple of years post-COVID. I'm really thrilled to be part of this. I want to acknowledge the efforts of Professor Anyani, who has been our CME coordinator right from the onset, and all the members of the executive, especially this new expo. Dr. Bito is doing a great job. I'm excited to see the connections and collaboration that will come out of this meeting. Please let us make the most of this opportunity to reconnect, share knowledge, and drive progress in our field. I want us, one of the reasons why I'm excited is that members of the Ophthalmological Society Abuja chapter, we can work together as a team. And when we work together as a team, we can be sure that we will achieve greater things. So I'm looking forward to greater exploits, not only CMA, online, physical, like we used to do before, and the annual activities. Please, we encourage each and every one of us to join our hands together. This is the time to do so. Once again, thank you so much. And I pray that God will bless all of you in your various endeavors.
Thank you, ma. Before Dr. Bito will give the citation of our resource person, I need to quickly recognize some of our teachers, great teachers, who are attending this program. I can see our legendary Anafa. So we thank you for joining us. I can also see Professor Folashade Akinsola, our mama, then our mama too, Dr. Ramatu Hassan. We thank you. We thank Taiwo Yeleye. No, if I have not recognized you, it's not because of any bad reason. We need to go to the main reason why we are here this morning. So, Dr. Bito, please give us the citation of our resource person. Then thereafter, we have the lecture.
Okay.
Comment, question.
Good morning, sir. I'm our chairman. And good morning, our lecturer today, and to our grant teachers, our teachers, senior colleagues and colleagues, thank you so much for joining us today. It's my privilege to take the mini profile citation of our lecturer today in the person of Professor Fatima Kyari. Fatima is an ophthalmologist and a fellow and faculty examiner for the West African College of Surgeons and the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. She obtained an MSc and her PhD with distinction at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, University of London. She is the glaucoma clinical lead at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Abuja FCT, where she also trains residents. As an associate professor of ophthalmic epidemiology, she leads the Glaucoma Clinical and Research Network, domiciled at the International Center for Eye Health at the University of London, supporting glaucoma care services development in low and middle income countries. As a clinician with medical and surgical expertise and subspecialty skills in glaucoma, Fatima applies her skills to make informed, patient-centered decisions, including using evidence-based interventions at the grassroots level to design the strategies required from the individual patient level, involving national strategic levels all the way up to global networks. She was a team lead for the Nigerian National Survey on Blindness and Visual Impairment between 2005 and 2007. She led the development of the Nigerian National Eye Health Policy of 2019 and the Glaucoma Toolkit for Sub-Saharan Africa of 2021, which has been translated to Portuguese and French and has been adapted as a glaucoma management guideline in the following countries: Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Mozambique, Uganda, and her home country, Nigeria. She is engaged in high-level local and international advocacy in a voluntary role as the West African Sub-Regional Co-Chairperson of the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, IAPB. She is a member of the IAPB Board of Trustees and the Executive Committee. She's also a member of the Vision Catalyst Fund Program Experts Committee. She is currently on national assignment serving her country as the Registrar and the Chief Executive Officer of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. I present to you to take our lecture today, titled Empowering Ophthalmologists, the Path to Versatility, Resilience, and Leadership. Professor Fatima Kyari, you're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bito. Thank you. And Professor Ayoni, thank you very much for the earlier introduction of everyone. I must say that this is a profound honor for me to be here, to be the first in 2025, and also the first to talk after a long, recess of the OSN CME meetings. I remember the last time we were at Lokogoma, and when Dr. Bito called me to say, would you speak? And I started to think, I already imagined myself going to Lokogoma to give a talk. So it's really interesting that after COVID, so many things have changed. things have either become easier or even more, because it has given me a sort of an advantage that I can actually speak in the comfort of my home. And, you know, despite all the extra work that one has to do. And I'm really, really honored to have so many of our senior colleagues here. I can see the list of participants, and forgive me, please, if I do not call you, but I'd like to really appreciate the presence of Professor Hannah Fowle. In fact, when I was preparing my slides, I kept thinking, what would Ma Hannah say? And would she say, I missed this or I missed that? But I just tried to put as much as possible in a few minutes, and it's not going to be so elaborate, but something that we can all work towards. And of course, Professor Fola Shade Akin-Shola, always with us. I remember during our residency training, she only came for a visit at National Eye Center, and she took time off to put us through, just for a few hours, to put us through the different aspects of learning, the different aspects of exams, something that we can tailor ourselves as just as a revision kind of thing. And I haven't forgotten, Prof. I really haven't forgotten. And thank you very much for that. It still sits very well in my memory. Dr. Yoloye, my first encounter in Abuja FCT was her, and one of the conferences we held, I think 2012 or something, 2011, I can't remember, 2010. She was just remarkable, and she has persisted as that. And Tiramatu, we've always kept. And so thank you very much, everyone. I'm sorry if I haven't called your name. Taiwo, not of Abuja FCT OSN, but thank you for joining us. And I think so many others that are not of Abuja have also joined us. So I hope I will be able to give you something that we can discuss. I'll walk for a few minutes and then talk for a few minutes, and then we can now have a discussion, because I think the discussion is more important than what I'll be presenting. So I have so many things on my laptop. I'm just going to see what I can share now. Okay. So there we are. My topic for today is empowering ophthalmologists, and I'm looking at the path to versatility, resilience, and leadership. Why I chose this topic the way it is because I feel my fundamental training as a specialist in ophthalmologist is really giving me a good head start in a new job that I find myself. And I'd also like to share that with my colleagues and some of and our trainees, trainee residents, because it is something that I think we should all try to, as we climb the ladder or as we go along, we should all try to respect the opportunities that confront us and the learnings that that we come by. Okay, so, and I also wanted to link it with competency-based training. And I was thinking, why competency-based training? There's a structured framework for focusing on measurable outcomes, on attitude, skills, and knowledge. So if you look at our curriculum, it's always about ASK, and I say ask. How do we ask? And when I was writing this ask, I remember with Professor Hannah Fowle, many years ago, we discussed competency-based training, and we discussed what is the outcome or the output that we desire at the end of the day. And it was easy to think about how to transmit knowledge, but we questioned how, and knowledge and skills, but we questioned how do you transmit attitude? And so this is another question that we also have to think about. And when we say attitude, we're also thinking about so many facets, including professionalism, which I'm going to also talk about in a few minutes. And professionalism, again, we thought, how do you teach professionalism? But interestingly, with the Ophthalmology Foundation group, I found that, yeah, indeed, we could learn professionalism and we could teach it and learn it. So this is just a pointer. And then it also develops well-rounded, adaptable professionals, ophthalmologists. It aligns training with the real-world challenges, and it builds a strong foundation for critical thinking, for problem solving, and for effective communication. So in essence, competency-based training shapes the future of ophthalmology, and it's a learning for growth. I was trying to look for the slides that we discussed, I think in 2011 in Accra, Ghana, again, with the community eye health or group in terms of competency-based training and operational research. And I didn't find it. But what we decided was the trained ophthalmologist should be able to have all these competencies. And in short, be whoever you want to be. So we thought about medical expertise. Yes, that is the number one. As doctors, what we think about is the medical expertise in terms of the knowledge and the skills, our clinical competencies, and surgical competencies. And then we have the patient care. What do we offer to the patient, and how do we offer that? Number three is critical thinking and problem solving. So this, apart from giving us, thinking about our diagnostic acumen, we also have to think about innovative approaches, and especially when we're confronted with challenges. Now, we also need to have effective communication skills, because these are something that we relate with our own colleagues, as well as relating with the patients, as well as relating with the community, especially if you're a community ophthalmologist, and as well as relating with the public. So we need to have different messaging strategies for the different strata and groups of people that we communicate with in a way that they understand us. When we were in school, during medical training, it was so exciting because we were quite young and just started then. And myself and my colleagues could speak in medical language that other, mates couldn't understand. So it was just interesting that they would say, okay, you're talking shop now. So that aspect of communication is something that we need to relate. And then interpersonal skills. We all have issues, we all have difficulties and challenges, but we need to be able to communicate with each other so that we keep together. Professionalism, and then leadership and management. I would, in all that, it's a lifelong learning and adaptability mechanism that we all have to engage in. I've had the opportunity of inducting new medical students in the past few months, quite a number. And the last word I tell them is keep learning. Keep learning. Medicine is lifelong learning. Keep learning. And then I ask them, if you're not ready to keep learning, then you shouldn't be inducted as doctors. And that is just the reality of it. A little bit about professionalism. If we look at this, I'll start with the one in the middle, which is ethical practice. Professor Ayoni will resonate very well with me. Perhaps I'll just leave him to say a a few words about ethical practice at the end of this talk, because I know he is very keen on ensuring that ethical standards are adhered to, whether in upholding the principles such as patient confidentiality, informed consent, and in fact, equity in care. So these are ethical standards that define our professionalism. And then, of course, personal integrity, demonstrating honesty and accountability in clinical decisions, in research, and in all interactions. Then we have excellence in clinical practice. So it is upon you to stay up to date in advancements in ophthalmology to provide the best possible care. And you also need to think about precision and competence. Ophthalmology, especially the surgical ophthalmology, is about precision. So even in diagnostic, performing diagnostic or therapeutic or surgical procedures, we need that kind of precision to provide the best possible care. Then again, we have effective communication, which I have talked about earlier on, both patient-centered care and collaborative network, then leadership and be a role model, inspire peers and also trainees, simply by the way you conduct yourself, ethical dedication, ethical practice and dedication. And then be an advocate as well. You champion patients' rights. If you see something is not going well, you correct it. As a community ophthalmologist, I think you have more leverage on advocacy, but even as a clinical ophthalmologist, within the clinic, you want to make things better for them. How do we streamline their consultations? How do we make them reduce their waiting time and all that? And then we have resilience, cultural competence, resilience, and emotional intelligence. In terms of emotional intelligence and resilience, it's like overcoming challenges. We all have our challenges we want to overcome. We try to see as much as possible that we are able to create alternative channels and overcome them. And of course, commitment to accountability, which is in quality assurance and quality improvement, and then responsibility for taking ownership of our decisions and their outcomes. And especially as a consultant, in my work at MDCN, I realized that, being a consultant is a special thing. And there are codes of ethics that really require a consultant to take ownership of decisions of the whole team. There's nothing like coming to say, it wasn't me, it was the resident. No, especially even the house officer. The house officer is just a split off the consultant. So anything the house officer does well or wrong is the onus is on the consultant. So we need to take ownership of our decisions and their outcomes. And we need to be able to address errors constructively. Professionalism really matters. I was having a discussion about this presentation ended. So, in fact, this is where we are. The professionalism in ophthalmology ensures that the trainees and the practitioners themselves gain trust and respect of patients and colleagues. They contribute to a positive and collaborative environment, and they uphold the reputation of the profession as leaders and innovators. So I wish I could end here, but not. So we'll now talk about transferable skills. And when we talk about transferable skills, there are so many things. I just gave a little example here. It even includes some of the courses we did, such as writing. Writing your research work is a transferable skill. The use of Microsoft Excel or the use of PowerPoint to present your work is a transferable skill. How you engage the community in your field work, is a transferable skill. So most of it is geared towards problem solving, adaptability, teamwork. And these are built upon those core competencies that I spoke. And then they extend a little bit beyond them. So learning how to adapt surgical techniques to different patient profiles helps trainees tackle unforeseen challenges with innovation. So we talk about critical thinking. And then collaboration with multidisciplinary teams hones your negotiation, delegation, and leadership. You're not always right. You have to listen to others, and you have to take others' perspectives into decision making. And when you work in teams, that becomes part of you. So these are some aspects of strategic thinking that require critical thinking. And there are so many others, as I said, that enables us to have transferable skills. So I'm going to talk a little bit about competency-based training and some aspects of it. I might not say too much because I'll just highlight. We have competency framework based, which I earlier spoke about, the professionalism, the clinical skills, communication skills, engagement skills. And then the other thing is assessment and feedback. So there has to be a continuous evaluation to ensure growth. I know these are all incorporated into the trainings that we do. So I'm just underscoring that it's necessary. Especially, the training I know in University of Abuja Teaching Hospital incorporates all that. And we're continuously evaluating our residents. We're ensuring that they grow. And then there's an individualized learning plan, mostly driven by either your specific mentor or the consultant that you work with. Then we have milestones and progression. So all the colleges have milestones. The different examinations are milestones, but we also need to ensure that this is a continuous process, not just at the exam. The emphasis on versatility and leadership. I'd like our residents, ophthalmologists, to look beyond the clinics, to look beyond what we learn around the patient. And that would give us the versatility and leadership components. While I was preparing for this talk again, I just came across actually my husband was just listening to a YouTube, some of these motivational stuff on YouTube, and the journey of the pawn in chess just resonated with what I felt I needed to give out. So at first glance, I don't play chess really, but when I listened to this, I just understood what was going on. There are 8 pieces of pawns on the chessboard. They're the smallest pieces, and they're the ones in front. They're the highest number, and they're the ones in front. And when you see them on the chessboard, you can see them all lined up in front. They look unimpressive, and their movements are limited. They don't have the sweeping power of the queen that moves anyhow, or the knight that is has an unpredictability, or the bishop that moves diagonally. So to many of us, it just looks like, cannon fodder. It's just small pieces there. And it is a piece that can be sacrificed at any time. Anytime. So to dismiss the pawn, though, is to misunderstand its true nature. So the pawn has an ability that sets it apart. If it reaches, it survives, and it reaches the opposite side of the board. Do you know what it can do? It can be promoted to any of those majestic pieces, and most often to the queen. And the queen has the dominance. So this ability to transform to grow beyond its humble beginnings is what makes the pawn special. So we see our humble beginnings as during our foundational training when we were young residents, we were almost inconsequential, but we did a lot of work. We paved the way, for the powerful pieces to move. And the pawns are regarded as the foot soldiers and the first to engage in battle. And their movement is simple, just one step forward, just one step forward. And when they move that one step forward, unless the pawn moves that one step forward, the other powerful pieces behind them cannot move. So this is strategic. Let's think about it. And that step forward is courageous. Which way do you move? Is what helps you to undergo a transformation that can change someone. So we have to start somewhere. And for most of us, we need to develop critical and transferable skills so that we move and overcome the challenges, and then know that we have the possibility of transformation. And that would be by achieving versatility, resilience, and leadership. So one of the most profound lessons that the pawn teaches us is the value of patience, especially in a world that glorifies speed and instant gratification. Yesterday, I don't know if I should be saying this, but it's all out in the media. Yesterday, I got one of the social media forwards, if you might have gotten. If you know Fala Adiola, who started Guarantee Trust Bank at the time of Babangida, when he allowed individuals to take licenses. So Fala got a license for Guarantee Trust Bank, which he started with his colleague, late Tayo, and they were in their mid-30s at the time. And they ensured that they ingrained professionalism, accountability, and they trained anyone that they took. So Guarantee Trust up to today has a reputation. They could not stay as Guarantee Trust MDs for a long time because they had to move on, but they ensured that they maintained all those characteristics and personalities. Now, a month ago, at the end of December, Fola Adeola walked home with 11 billion naira, not from Guarantee Trust Bank, but from an investment he made many years ago, many years ago. At the time, he was in his 30s. Today, he's 70. But if we read about it, we might think it's an overnight success, but it's not. Its progress takes time. And this is what the pawn teaches us. Each move matters. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. And it's not a flashy move. It's just one move forward. It's a steady, deliberate progress. And I think the important thing is it transforms potential. Each potential, it's potential we look at, potential transforming to reality. And it's a persistence, strategy, and courage, and the power of resilience that enables us to continue. And the potential to transform actually lies within us all. And it's a story of hope. It's determination. So every small step matters. And then at the end, you think about it, it's personal growth. But when this pawn gets to the other side of the board, it becomes the queen. So it's not about personal growth anymore. Our successes are not just for ourselves. From personal growth, it becomes collective impact. So that pawn now begins to move for collective impact. And it's not about gaining power, but realizing our potential and the collective impact that it gives. And that initial move is what is required to give us courage. We need courage to have that initial move, and it's very important. So when I say versatility, resilience, and leadership, what do I mean? Versatility, if you look at our training, it gives us a broad application of skills, especially as ophthalmologists. Some are even saying, should they be in the College of Surgeons or should they be in the College of Physicians? Unlike others that are very known that they should be in the College of Surgeons. But people begin to wonder because of our broad skills, the various subspecialties and settings that we work on. Community ophthalmologist is not just community ophthalmologist. You also do surgery. You also do advocacy and so many other things. And then we have diverse patient populations, and we need to also adapt technology to those patient populations. So you can see we have retinal, for diabetic retinopathy, we have sophisticated handheld equipment in the community that we use for glaucoma and such, so that's the versatility I'm talking about. And some of us can go on to be innovative and even manufacture these things. We have resilience, coping mechanisms for high pressure environments, capacity for recovery and growth, and then leadership. If we're able to inculcate the professionalism and management skills as we grow, and also help to cultivate decision-making, mentorship, and organizational abilities. Some of my residents, I leave them to do something to start, and I just stay away, So we all have our different ways of inculcating leadership in the people that we train. But we do need to empower our younger ones to become future leaders in the field or even wherever we are. So how do we cultivate resilience? Structured mentorship program, stress management. We really have to recognize that, because in a world where now we have so many competing needs and everything is on our palm, the social media is distracting, there are so many other challenges. So we need to ensure that we have stress management. There was a time we were talking about self-care, physician self-care. Even how you sit on your operating table, your chair has to be comfortable, the microscope has to be comfortable. So all those things should be ensured. Then simulation-based learning, which now removes some of the challenges of having to be there physically, and then promoting work-life balance. Take time out to reduce some of the stress that you have. And then leadership development in ophthalmology, as I mentioned earlier, early exposure, do workshops and training. You won't believe the first time I did a leadership training was 2 years ago. That was the first time I did a leadership training ever, and it was very transformational. And I think we should have leadership training much earlier stages of our career. Then community engagement, what we do, and research and innovation. These are all areas that can actually accelerate leadership in ophthalmologists. I also wanted to highlight the importance of professional associations. Some of us think it is either a distraction or it is not my beans. Professional associations have the advantage of continued professional development. Yes, we know that. Some of us just think we should just pay our dues and have our name on the list. No, it offers lots of networking opportunities, advocacy, and even representation. Stand up, represent your association, then recognition and credibility in your chosen specialty area. It also gives you and political capital. As doctors, we are always too busy to talk to other people outside our networks. But it's really not so, because that makes it hard now to advocate for our own self. But if we build our social and political capital through professional associations, then it makes it a lot easier. And then we'll also be poised to support our own organization in its growth. I didn't want to go without giving an analogy, I know that, we have so many leaders in our own ophthalmology profession. I was going to use one of them as an example, but I just thought, okay, let me go beyond our shores and look at how we think. If you look at the porn story, did you know that a Black woman by the name of Patricia Ba invented the laser eye surgery in 1981? She's also the first Black woman to receive a medical patent. So what am I saying is, she had a humble start. Born in Harlem, New York. If you know Harlem, New York in 1942, it was that slum area, in New York. She faced significant societal challenges, racial, gender discrimination, being a woman. Despite these obstacles, she excelled academically. And just like the pawn on the chessboard, she moved one step at a time, deliberately, steadily, and laying the groundwork for her future. And then she became the first African American woman to complete an ophthalmology residency at New York University, NYU. So it wasn't easy. She had to overcome those challenges and barriers. And she also, at the time, introduced the concept of community ophthalmology because of her people. Being a Black woman, she was serving underserved populations, and she knew that they couldn't come to hospital. So she developed community ophthalmology. And also, he invented the laser phaco probe, which we all know that it treats cataract. And again, that was a leap innovation that reflected the moment the pawn becomes the queen. So she became a queen. She achieved so much through her resilience, versatility, and impact. So she had a humble start. She had breaking barriers. She had transformational thinking, and then leadership and legacy. So this is what we did. And her work empowered others, from patients who regained their sight because of the surgical laser surgery to young professionals who are inspired by the work that she does. So this is transformational that Dr. Patricia Ba was engaged in. So I have a call to action. My call to action is, let's ingrain competency-based training, because it equips the ophthalmologist with skills to be versatile, to be resilient, and impactful leaders. And the journey mirrors the transformation of a pawn into a queen. It is strategic, determined, and it is empowering. And in summary, what I've said is we invest in structured competency-based programs, support environments that cultivate professionalism, collaboration, and innovation, and incorporate transferable skills into our curricula, commit to mentorship. I think this is really important. Commit to mentorship and leadership training. In the past 3 years, I was engaged with the CERT in cardiovascular research training in Nigeria through the IMRAT work that I do. And one of the things we do is mentorship, and even teaching us how to be mentors and teaching mentees how to be mentees. So I think it's really important, and we need to commit ourselves to that. I think in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have another workshop, and that will be a writing workshop. It's here in Abuja. Then it's something that we really have to, it's a transferable skills that we have to, keep teaching and learning. So because together we can empower the next generation of ophthalmologists. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. There are some other people I am seeing here. I can't go without saying thank you to my sister, Professor Regina Morgan. Hello. and of course, my brother again, Dr. Musa Balat, also for sustaining the Abuja OSN. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for listening.
So we thank the CEO, Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, for this thought-provoking and very inspiring lecture. She started with competency-based training. She gave us the mnemonic ask, attitude, and knowledge. She advised us to align training with real-world challenges. Then that we should have growth-directed learning. She highlights some key competencies, including medical expertise, patient care, critical thinking and problem solving, then communication and interpersonal skills, professionalism, leadership management. In professionalism, she advised us to ensure cultural competence, ethical practice. Though she gave me assignment in that. You know, ethics, the medical practice ethics is dated to antiquity. Before we were even born, any of us on the atlas surface today, the medicine has its own ethics, which is just a standard of behavior in any group, in any community. And we have a number of them already codified in what we call the World Medical Declarations, including the so-called medical oath, which every new doctors, they have to swear in before they can even start what we call housemanship. It has been codified in our various communications, including medical acts, medical and dental practitioner acts, the National Health Act, a number of communications. But the one we call beneficent, to do good always to our patients, to our colleagues, and then probably not to indulge colleagues, which we know that has gone out of the prescription of medical ethics. Then we should not go out of our way to do harms. The harm may be in form of discomfort. It may range from minor discomfort to maybe something that will lead to the death of our clients. We should not go out of our way to do that. And in our practice, we should always make sure that if at all we are going to inflict injury, the merit will always outweigh the injury. What do I mean by that? When you are carrying out surgery, to some extent, you inflict injury. But we all know that that surgery is either we want to improve the situation of the patient, giving him maybe quality life in the end, or probably we are saving the life of that patient. So when we try to balance it in such a way that the merit of our actions or inaction outweigh the injury, that is the only condition we can say we inflict harm. But the outcome must always outweigh, the benefit must always outweigh the injury. Then we talk of respect, which is autonomy. Respect to our clients. We should treat them as persons. We should treat them as persons. We should allow them to take decision after we have provided necessary information. Paternalism is no longer the in thing in the modern day medical practice. We provide necessary information. We should not be saying that, okay, we are doing it in the patient's best interest, especially those patients that are conscious, fully aware of what they are doing, who are of adult age. I know some level of paternalism cannot be eradicated in medical practice. Maybe in unconscious patients, maybe in minors, maybe those that are mentally impaired. But in a full-fledged adult of sound mind, which will provide information for them that will make them take decision, informed decision. Whatever decision they take, whether we like it or not, we should let them take it. The only thing we can do to also protect ourselves under defensive medicine, we document it. Okay, after carefully inform these patients, this is decision of the patient. Something like that. Then we talk of justice. Justice in terms of distributive, in terms of retributive, in terms of rights of that patient. Those of us that maybe we are to allocate resources or we are to conduct researches, distributive justice in terms of risk and benefit. We should pay attention to it. Then fidelity. Our words should be our words. Okay, I'm coming. I will operate you by 8 o'clock. Also, if we have any reason to cancel that surgery, we must carry our clients along. I will come on so date as a follow-up date. We as physicians, if we have reason not to be in that clinic, we should try as much as possible to reach out. Though in some cases, it may not be easy to reach out to us, but we must make provision so that when that patient comes, they will not just find out that there's no arrangement on how to be seen. We know it, but it's just a reminder to all of us. So ethics is very wide. It's not something that we can, but just a little reminder. Then we have transferable skill, problem solving, adaptability, teamwork, competence-based training, competence framework, assessment and feedback, individualized learning plans, milestones and progression. So it provides us a lot of hints. She gave us journey of the pawn in chess, from humble beginning to overcoming challenges and transformation. So in essence, There's no crown without a prize. We should learn. One of my trainers in postgraduate ophthalmology, she usually tell us not to cut corners, especially our residents. Learn the rudiments. Learn the rudiments. I know by our private communication, Dr. Yoloye, in fact, when she was telling me the reason why this CME, we should continue with this CME. It's part of what she emphasized, that on no account should we allow the young ones to be directionless. So during gathering like this, you hear from the elders, from the seniors, how they make it. They share their experience, they share their knowledge, and from there, in fact, when we were in medical school, in fact, we have dignified teachers that without them even saying anything, from their conduct, you learn a lot. They are like mercy in practice, mercy personified. So we should link competence to versatility, resilience, and leadership. Then she also gave us the life of Patricia Bath, who invented laser eye surgery in 1981. She faced persecution. You know that climb. The moment you are even, your color is black. If you read the life and time of Martin Luther King Jr., something like that, you will know what he lived for. And you know what he said. And when you remember that Obama became American president, you could see that somebody predicted something like that. Then call to action. Competence-based training, leadership training. In University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, we try to do that. Our resident, I know that is what is being done in Ilorin too. All our senior registrar, we ensure that we appoint based on seniority. We don't allow just some single resident doctor or the most senior registrar to stay there perpetually. We rotate it. It's a form of exposure to leadership. So I thank the CEO, Medical and Dental Council, for that area. So the training programs should be in such a way that each resident, when they become at the senior cadre, they are allowed to be chief resident, so that they know when HOD is saying something, maybe he's not getting certain thing, or something is not adequate, he will understand. He will know how to manage human resource as well as the material resource. It's exposure. So the training will be complete. I remember Dr. Anafa and then Dr. BGK Aja, they came to UITH when we were residents. They were talking of is this sister ophthalmologist, a manager, a surgeon, a physician, something like that. So we thank you for this very elucidating lecture. So please, we would like comments from from the house. Comment, questions, and answer. Thank you so much. The floor is open. We can use electronic hands. If we want to comment, we can use electronic hands to signify, or we can type it so that the resource person can respond. If you have comment, please.
Hello, Prof.
Good morning.
There's a question, okay, in the chat box by Miriam.
Okay.
She's asking, please, are there any
Okay.
leadership training institutes that you would recommend for us?
Okay. Our resource person, is there any training institutes? Leadership training institute, Abby?
To be honest, I told you, for me, it was only 2 years ago that I actually did a leadership training. And that was through the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Being faculty there. So I haven't really looked at. There are some, like the Kofi Annan leadership, which Professor Adariaji was part of in the last year. There are some leadership mentorship programs that happen over the year, but they're very competitive, and we have to scope for them online and apply. But I think we should also be able to set up programs ourselves. I know in like the University of Abuja again, there's a leadership center, but not all of them actually speak to our own peculiarities, leadership in clinical competencies. I mean, the clinical work that we do, as well as leadership as a whole. Even though leadership is should I say, a transferable skill? Because some people would say leaders are born, not made. But I don't believe that. I think leaders are made. The talent might be there, but we need to grow the leaders. We need to that they're made. So I think some of these places we have to explore. I see Dr. Ballard saying there's a Center for Management Development. Maybe they teach leadership there, but we have to be careful to ensure that we know the difference between management and leadership. Leadership can be different things, the whole thing is to carry people along, and it depends on what your perspective is. So I think we need to just incorporate that. And this is a challenge for us to try and find where suits our kind of people, our kind of vision and ideas for leadership. Yeah. So we'll explore the Center for Management Development, I believe, that Dr. Ballard has shown. Okay, it was a direct message. So thank you, Dr. Ballard. Dr. Bito, I think you have a lot of work to follow on the call to action, including this.
All right, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you, ma'am. There was this ethics and organ donation panel. I know you are aware of it. There was this meeting we had late last year, and the director hospital services, it was like the lady, the media lady who handled that program, kept saying that if she didn't add MNI, that the director hospital services will not be happy. Maybe he has corrected her severally. So that day, I was like, what do they do to end that MNI? Don't know. Maybe Miriam, maybe you can find out what they do at, is it Kuru? What they do at Kuru. I know it's about leadership training too. Maybe you should find out. I don't know whether it will be appropriate for your kidda, but you can find out. Thank you.
The NMI is member MNI, Member National Institute. It just means that they have gone to the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, and they have spent their 1 year there. So that's just the graduating letters, MNI. And they take it upon themselves that they must always wear their badge, and they must always have it after their name. So yeah, so that's just one of the things. It's just like we saying, if you have a PhD, you always put PhD after your name, you know. But they take it more seriously than that. It's a selection process for anyone that goes to MNI. But there are so many other, I think, leadership courses that we can actually engage. So Mustafa has also posted one, leadership and management account. But to be honest, there are some free courses. I don't want you to go around paying for expensive courses. There are some free courses on leadership that you can always find and engage yourself in. And then there are others. Okay, so there's
Professor
also another
Harriman
request
is up, ma'am.
who is saying, I'm just wondering if these leadership courses can be included in the update courses, even at pre-part 1 level, to prepare one for the chief resident role, because some residents don't want to act in that role. Actually, even at MDCN, one of the things I'm doing in the engagement is a leadership course, which we're going to include for provost, deans, and heads of department. But I think we can open it up to optional for all. Thank you. You were saying, Professor Dr.
Harriman's hand had been up. I think.
Okay, before the resource person will respond to that, I have to also recognize Ayodele Arima. I think since with the Eye Foundation, is one of our senior ophthalmologists. Then the immediate past chairman of our faculty, Dr. Arun Adetunji Ajibode, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you.
Then my HOD, please. I recognize Dr. Chiroma Rilwan Muhammad. Dr. Lagda, I see you. I see a number of my residents, Tijoke, Agadu, Damte, all of you. Please, we recognize you. All our residents from National Hospital, from Asokoro, from Federal Medical Center, Jabi, or Abuja, all of you, we recognize you. All our colleagues,
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
So we
Yes,
recognize all of you. I know it will not be possible to mention every person. So we have started. Please, we will appreciate you to suggest to us interesting topics and competent hands that can help us. Okay, maybe we can continue with question and answer session, please.
Yes, sir. Professor Harriman had her hand up for some time. I think she could go next. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm not a professor.
Thank you very much, Professor Kyari, for this very, very interesting topic there. I was just hoping, thank you very much, and I did make a few notes. As regards other centers that teach on leadership and management in health, we have the Enterprise Development Center of the Lagos Business School. So that's a 6-month course, very intensive, but worth the effort. There's also the Health Leadership Academy in Lagos here, somewhere in Ikeja. So they do hold leadership courses with reference to healthcare. Somebody posted about the Washington University on leadership and management in health. So they have very intensive, very interesting, and motivating programs. I was just wondering if there are many residents on this meeting, because I think residents should be encouraged to also attend such meetings, especially on leadership, such webinars on leadership. And I also believe in shadowing. So if we can, as you mentioned before, if we can pinpoint residents that have that innate ability to lead, you give them small leadership or management assignments, I think we'll be able to pick them up and train them. Mentorship, as Professor Kyari mentioned, is very, very important, mentorship and coaching. But if we can start them early, by the time they get to our stage, they'll be very, very good leaders. But thank you very much, and I enjoyed the lecture.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we have any further questions, comments? Dr. Afam, are you around? So that you give us a photo of thanks. Is the morning and afternoon well spent? Okay, Dr. Bito.
All right, sir. We are deeply grateful first to our lecturer, Professor Fatima Kyari. Thank you so much, Ma, for finding out time from your very busy schedule to take this first CME lecture of the 2025 series of the OSN Abuja CME arrangement. And we are really deeply grateful for the insights that you've shared, for stimulating us a little much more towards leadership, towards management, and towards perseverance, resilience, and just staying on course, regardless of our levels, whether we be junior residents, senior residents, young consultants, more elderly consultants, or teachers or grant teachers. Thank you so much, Ma, for helping us to see that there is light at the end of the tunnel if only we just persevere and continuously engage in growth with the ultimate goal for collective impact. Really, really grateful. We want to also appreciate the committee, the CME committee headed by Professor Abdulkadir Ayoni. Thank you so much, sir, for your leadership, for insisting, for prodding us, and just ensuring that we're on the right track. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. We want to also specifically thank Mama Loyole for her guidance and her very calm and mild promptings, and she's always very, very concerned to ensure that we're on the right track. Thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate it. To all our teachers within the FCT, all our professors, our heads of departments, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And we deeply appreciate your presence, especially even this morning, to just encourage us. Thank you so much. We are deeply grateful also to our teachers, our grant teachers, and our faculty from outside the FCT, within Nigeria and beyond. Thank you so much for Professor Akinshola. Thank you for Professor Fowl, specifically our grant teachers who have just kept on prodding us in the right direction, encouraging us. We are deeply grateful. Thank you so much, ma'ams. Thank you to our residents across the country, our FCT residents. Thank you so much for just taking out your time to come and hear from the wealth of experience from Professor Kyari and every other teacher here. And our deepest desire is that you're able to put most of what you've learned to practice. Just stay there, keep at it, especially for those who are currently undergoing the dissertation process. Please seek for help. Don't stay too long on at a specific point. Call someone, speak to someone. This committee is actually geared to help you. So please put out a word if you need some help. Don't just stay too long protracted on a specific space and miss out on the fact that you have to take your exams at the nearest possible availability. So we are here to help. We are here to mentor. And I'm also looking up to my teachers and my grant teachers for wisdom, insights, and just the right level of judgment to keep up on track. So I don't know it all. I'm looking up to everyone. I'm learning from my teachers, my grant teachers, and my residents as well. Thank you so much to everyone. We appreciate you. The committee is deeply grateful. We would schedule the next one within the next quarter, and we hope that it will be equally stimulating, and we would reach out to you as soon as we start preparations towards that. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of the month, January, and the rest of the year 2025. Happy New Year. Thank you.